everyone. At the end of this video, you should be able to describe the metabolism of alcohol in the body and explain the biochemical basis of various metabolic changes that occur in the alcoholics. Let's begin with the clinical case scenario. A 45-year-old male with the history of alcohol intake for more than 10 years was admitted in the hospital with complaints of abdominal pain and nausea. He had right upper quadrant pain on deep palpation and borderline enlargement of liver. In this patient, the history of alcoholism and finding of hepatomegaly is suggestive of alcoholic liver disease. Now let's see the laboratory investigations, the results. Serum AST, it was 170 units per liter. The normal is less than 40 units per liter. It means that it is increased. Serum ALT, that is alanine transaminase, it was 80 units per liter and the normal should be less than 40 units per liter. It means that it is also increased. Serum triglyceride level was 690 mg per deciliter and the normal should be less than 150 mg per deciliter. It means the patient has hypertriglyceridemia. Fasting plasma glucose level was 60 mg per deciliter and the normal is 70 to 110 mg per deciliter, which means the patient has hypoglycemia. Serum uric acid level was 9.8 mg per deciliter and the normal should be 2.5 to 7 mg per deciliter, which means the patient is having hyperuricemia. Now let's understand the biochemical basis of various clinical manifestations seen in this patient and the biochemical basis of the derangement in the biochemical parameters. In humans, ethanol is primarily an exogenous compound consumed in alcoholic beverages and readily absorbed from the entire gastrointestinal tract. Most of the absorbed ethanol is then degraded by oxidative processes in the liver because liver is the major site of ethanol oxidation. Only 2 to 10% of ethanol is excreted unoxidized in the urine and lungs. At least 3 enzyme systems are capable of ethanol oxidation, and the enzyme system consisting of alcohol dehydrogenase is most important. Out of the 3 systems, it is the principal pathway for ethanol oxidation. So alcohol dehydrogenase converts ethanol into acetaldehyde and NADH is formed from NAD. The second enzyme system involves microsomal ethanol oxidizing system, that is MEOS. Cytochrome P450 oxygenase plays a very important role in oxidation of ethanol to acetaldehyde. NADPH is consumed to form NADP. The third enzyme system involves catalase and it occurs in peroxisomes. The role of catalase in biological oxidation of ethanol is controversial. Then the acetaldehyde, which is formed by these 3 enzyme systems, it is then converted into acetate by the action of enzyme aldehyde dehydrogenase. In this process also, NADH is formed from NAD. Now what happens to this acetate? 80% of acetate which is formed in liver, it is transported to the peripheral tissues. It is converted into acetyl-CoA and then oxidized through TCA cycle. The activity of aldehyde dehydrogenase is less than that of alcohol dehydrogenase, and that's why acetaldehyde gets accumulated in the liver and it is responsible for toxic effects in case of chronic alcoholics. The activity of aldehyde dehydrogenase is less in Indians and women, and that's why they are more susceptible for alcohol toxicity. This enzyme aldehyde dehydrogenase, it is inhibited by disulfiram, and this property is used in the treatment of alcoholism. Let's understand the biochemical basis of liver damage in case of alcoholism. Fatty liver is the condition of accumulation of triglycerides in hepatocytes. This topic has been already discussed in the previous video. When this accumulation of triglyceride is accompanied with inflammation and scarring, it is called as alcoholic hepatitis. When the scarring becomes extensive and it leads to irreversible changes and fibrotic changes, there is development of liver cirrhosis. In liver cirrhosis, there is irreversible scarring is present. This condition cannot be reversed. It takes more than 10 years to develop liver cirrhosis if a person is consuming alcohol. Now, what are the different mechanisms by which the alcoholic hepatitis is developed? First, by the toxic effects of acetaldehyde. How acetaldehyde is responsible for toxic effects? Because this acetaldehyde induces lipid peroxidation and acetaldehyde protein adduct formation, and this adduct formation will disrupt the cytoskeleton and membrane function, and that's how the acetaldehyde causes liver damage. Second is alcohol. Alcohol directly affects mitochondrial function and membrane fluidity, and that's how it results into liver damage. The third mechanism is by reactive oxygen species, and these reactive oxygen species are generated during oxidation of ethanol by the microsomal ethanol oxidizing system. They can be also produced by neutrophils which infiltrate the areas of hepatic necrosis, and this ROS, that is reactive oxygen species, they damage membrane and proteins. So by these mechanisms, by the action of acetaldehyde, alcohol, and by reactive oxygen species, the liver is damaged in alcoholism. Alcohol consumption causes fatty liver. This has been already described in the previous video on fatty liver. Let's revise it quickly here. Chronic alcoholism causes fatty liver by two important mechanisms, that is by inhibiting oxidation of fatty acids and by promoting lipogenesis. We know that during the oxidation of ethanol, there is production of NADH. It leads to increase in the NADH to NAD ratio, and that's why malate cannot be converted into oxaloacetate because it requires NAD, and there is decreased NAD concentration, and that's why malate cannot be converted into oxaloacetate. It leads to decreased oxaloacetate concentration. Oxaloacetate is required for the Krebs cycle, and as there is low oxaloacetate level, acetyl-CoA cannot be oxidized through TCA cycle, and there is inhibition of oxidation of fatty acids, and it leads to increased level of fatty acids in the liver, which are then accumulated in the form of triacylglycerol, and then triglycerides are accumulated in the hepatocytes, leading to fatty liver. Why alcohol consumption causes lactic acidosis and hyperuricemia? Let's see. In alcoholism, due to ethanol oxidation, there is increased production of NADH. So the ratio of NADH to NAD is increased. And this increase in the ratio favors the formation of lactate from pyruvate by the action of enzyme lactate dehydrogenase. So there is more conversion of lactate from pyruvate. It leads to increased lactate concentration in blood, and lactic acidosis is developed. Now this increased lactate in the blood, it decreases the excretion of uric acid. How? Because it competes with the uric acid for excretion, and it leads to increased uric acid level in the blood, that is hyperuricemia. And lactic acidosis decreases the pH of blood, and the acidic pH precipitates the attack of gouty arthritis. Normally monosodium urate crystals, they are soluble at physiological pH, but due to lactic acidosis, the pH becomes acidic and the crystals get precipitated. That's why in chronic alcoholism, the alcohol intake can precipitate the attack of gouty arthritis, and alcohol consumption causes lactic acidosis and hyperuricemia. What is the cause of hypoglycemia in alcohol consumption? As we know that increased NADH to NAD ratio favors lactate formation from pyruvate. It leads to decreased pyruvate concentration. The second important thing is that increased NADH concentration also converts oxaloacetate to malate by the action of enzyme malate dehydrogenase. So there will be decreased concentration of oxaloacetate. Pyruvate and oxaloacetate, they are required for the gluconeogenesis, and that's why there is decreased availability of pyruvate and oxaloacetate for gluconeogenesis, and it results in hypoglycemia. What is the clinical significance of abnormal liver function test? In the clinical case scenario, two enzymes were estimated and the values were serum AST 170 units per liter, which is increased, and serum ALT was also 80 units per liter, that is increased serum ALT. Due to hepatic injury, the enzymes are elevated, and in normal condition, AST to ALT ratio is less than 1. In hepatic injury, ALT is increased more than that of AST, but in alcoholic liver disease, increase in AST is more than increase in ALT and the ratio is more than 2. AST to ALT ratio more than 2 is diagnostic of alcoholic liver disease. In case of non-alcoholic liver disease, AST to ALT ratio is less than 1. Why there is more increase of AST in case of alcoholic liver disease? Because alcohol is a mitochondrial poison and AST is located in the mitochondria. So it affects mitochondria more, and that's why there is more release of AST. That's why in alcoholic liver disease, increase in AST is more than that of ALT. Which are the other enzymes which can be elevated in alcoholic liver disease? Serum GGT. It is the important marker of alcoholic liver disease, that is gamma glutamyl transpeptidase. Serum alkaline phosphatase is also increased and serum bilirubin is also increased in case of alcoholism. Serum albumin is decreased because albumin is synthesized by liver, and due to hepatic injury the synthesis is impaired, and that's why there is decreased serum albumin. Let's talk about alcohol and CNS manifestations. In alcoholism, there is thiamine deficiency because alcohol inhibits the absorption of thiamine, and thiamine deficiency can lead to Wernicke's disease. In alcoholism, polyneuritis can occur because the aldehydes which are formed during alcohol metabolism, it inhibits pyridoxal phosphate by causing hydrolysis of phosphate of pyridoxal phosphate. And this pyridoxal phosphate is required for synthesis of sphingosine, which is a component of sphingomyelin, and that's how alcoholism can cause polyneuritis. The management modalities include abstinence from alcohol. Fatty liver is quickly reversible with abstinence. The sufficient amount of carbohydrates and calories should be provided so that protein degradation can be prevented, because protein degradation occurs for gluconeogenesis in case of chronic alcoholism. Vitamin supplementation, folic acid and thiamine should be given to the patient. While treating hypoglycemia, glucose should be administered along with thiamine, because already in patients of alcoholism thiamine deficiency is there, and if glucose, for the glucose metabolism thiamine is required, and if it is not given along with the glucose, then it can precipitate the attack of Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, and that's why always in case of acute intoxication of alcohol, thiamine is given along with the glucose to prevent Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. The next video will be on beta oxidation of fatty acids.